My poor father was secretly a king. But I did not know this for a long time. For me, he was just my father. His name was Thomas. He was a simple man. He had a kind heart and a warm smile. We lived in a very small house at the edge of a quiet town. Our house had only 2 rooms. One room was for sleeping. The other room was for everything else. We cooked there. We ate there. We talked there. It was a simple life. My name is Rose. I am 22 years old now. But my story starts when I was younger. I grew up with nothing. We did not have much money. Our clothes were old. Our shoes had holes. Sometimes we did not have enough food to eat, but we had each other. My father always told me, Rose, we are rich in love. That is the only thing that matters. I believed him. I loved my father very much. He was my whole world. My mother died when I was a baby. I did not remember her, so it was always just my father and me. Our house was old. The paint was peeling. The floor made noises when we walked. But outside, we had a beautiful garden. My father loved the garden. He said it was our little kingdom. He taught me how to plant flowers and vegetables. We grew red tomatoes and green beans. We grew yellow sunflowers that were taller than me. My father would look at the garden and smile. He would say, Look, Rose, life is here. It is beautiful and strong. I did not understand his deep words then. I just liked the bright colors of the flowers. Every evening, after working in the garden, my father would tell me stories. He had the best stories. He told me about faraway lands with high mountains and green valleys. He told me about brave kings and kind queens. He told me about people who helped each other. His favorite stories were about a hidden kingdom. It was called Eldoria. He said the people of Eldoria were happy. They did not have much gold, but they had green forests and clean rivers. They respected the land. They were a family. I loved the stories of Eldoria. I asked him, Father, is Eldoria a real place? He would just smile and say, It is real in our hearts, Rose. That is what matters. I thought my father was a simple gardener. He worked for other people in the town. He made their gardens beautiful. He would come home tired. His hands were rough and dirty from the soil, but he always had a smile for me. He would bring me a small flower sometimes. He would put it in my hair. He would say, You are my princess, Rose. I would laugh. A princess in a small, old house. It sounded funny, but it made me happy. I felt like a princess in his eyes. Life was not always easy. When I was a little girl, other children at school had nice toys. They had new dresses. I had a doll made of old cloth. My father made it for me. I loved that doll. But sometimes I felt sad. I wanted a new dress. I wanted shiny shoes. One day I came home from school crying. A girl laughed at my old shoes. My father saw my tears. He held me close. He did not say anything for a long time. He just held me. Then he said, Rose, your shoes carry you to school. They help you learn. They are good shoes. Your heart is more important than your shoes. A kind heart is the most beautiful thing in the world. His words made me feel better. I stopped crying. I understood that he was right. As I grew older, I started to work. I worked in a small bakery in the town. I woke up very early every morning. The sun was not yet in the sky. I walked to the bakery. I helped make bread. The smell of fresh bread was wonderful. I worked hard. I wanted to help my father. With my money, we bought more food. We fixed the leaky roof of our house. My father was very proud of me. He said, "You have a strong spirit, Rose, just like your mother." He rarely talked about my mother. When he did, his eyes looked sad. So I did not ask many questions. I did not want to make him sad. Our life continued in this simple way. We had our small house. We had our beautiful garden. We had each other. I was happy. I thought our life would always be like this. I did not want anything more. I had my father. He was my king. Our small house was my castle. Our garden was my kingdom. I did not need anything else. But one day, everything changed. Life had a big surprise for me. It was a secret. A very big secret, my father's secret. My father started to get sick. At first, it was just a small cough. He said it was nothing. He was just tired, but the cough did not go away. It got worse. He became weaker. He could not work in the gardens anymore. I told him to rest. I worked more hours at the bakery. I took care of him. I made him soup. I read him stories, just like he used to do for me. I read him his favorite stories about the kingdom of Eldoria. He would close his eyes and listen. A small smile would be on his face. The doctor came to our house. He was a kind man. He checked my father. He looked very serious. He told me my father was very sick. His heart was weak. There was no medicine to make him better. I felt a great sadness inside me. My heart felt heavy, like a stone. I could not imagine my life without my father. I sat by his bed every day. I held his rough hands. His hands were not strong anymore. They were thin and pale. One evening, he called my name. His voice was very soft, like a whisper. "Rose," he said. I moved closer to him. "Yes, Father, I am here." He looked at me. His eyes were full of love. "I have something to tell you," he said. "I have a box. A small wooden box. It is under my bed. When I am gone, you must open it." I started to cry. "No, Father, don't say that. You will get better." He shook his head slowly. "Listen to me, Rose. Promise me you will open the box." I promised him. Tears were running down my face. He continued to speak. "The stories I told you," he whispered. "The stories about Eldoria. They are true. It is a real place." I looked at him with confusion. I thought his sickness was making him say strange things. "It is your home, Rose. Your real home." I did not understand, but I did not ask any questions. I just held his hand tighter. He closed his eyes. "You are a princess, Rose, a real princess, my little princess." Those were his last words to me. He fell asleep, and he never woke up again. My world became dark. My father was gone. The light of my life was gone. I felt so alone in our small house. The garden did not look beautiful anymore. The flowers seemed sad. The sun did not feel warm. For many days, I just sat in a chair. I did not want to eat. I did not want to talk to anyone. The people in the town were very kind. They brought me food. They said nice words, but nothing could fill the emptiness in my heart. After about a week, I remembered my promise. The box, the small wooden box under his bed. I slowly got up. My legs felt weak. I went into the bedroom. I knelt down and looked under the bed. There it was, a simple wooden box. It was not locked. I took it out. My hands were shaking. I sat on the bed and opened it. Inside, there was a letter. It was my father's handwriting. There was also a beautiful necklace. The necklace had a strange symbol on it. It looked like a tree with a crown on top. I had never seen anything so beautiful. It did not look like something my poor father could own. I picked up the letter. It was addressed to me. My dearest Rose, it began. I started to read the letter. My father explained everything. He was not Thomas, the gardener. His real name was King Thuron of Eldoria. He wrote that he was a king, but he did not want to be a king in a big castle. He believed a true king should live like his people. He should understand their struggles. Many years ago, there was trouble in Eldoria. People with greedy hearts wanted to take his kingdom. They wanted to cut down the forests and mine the mountains for gold. My father fought them, but he was afraid for his family. He had a wife, Queen Liana, and he had a baby daughter. That was me. My real name was not Rose. It was Rosalia. The letter said that his enemies were powerful. To keep me safe, he and my mother decided to leave Eldoria. They wanted to give me a normal life, a simple life, a life away from danger and greed. They came to this small town. They changed their names. They wanted to live like simple people. But my mother got sick and passed away. My father was heartbroken. He decided to stay here. He wanted to protect me. He wanted to raise me himself. He wanted me to learn the value of hard work and a kind heart. He did not want me to grow up with gold and servants. He wanted me to grow up with love and dirt on my hands. My dearest Rosalia, he wrote, I wanted to give you a different kind of wealth, not the wealth of a crown, but the wealth of character. I wanted you to be strong, kind, and humble. Now, you are all of those things. I am so proud of you. The necklace in the box is the royal crest of Eldoria. It will prove who you are. There is also a name in this letter, Mr. Alastair Finch. He is a lawyer. He is a loyal friend. He will find you. He will help you. It is time for you to go home. Eldoria needs you. The people need a good ruler, a ruler with a kind heart, a ruler who understands the value of a single flower. That ruler is you, my daughter. Be brave. I will always be with you. I finished the letter. I was crying. But these were not just tears of sadness. There were tears of shock, tears of confusion. My father, a king, me, a princess, Princess Rosalia. It felt like one of his stories. It did not feel real. I looked at the necklace. It felt heavy in my hand. I looked around our small house. This simple house was the home of a king who chose to be a gardener. I did not know what to do. I felt lost. My whole life was a lie, but it was also the truth, a very strange truth. 2 days later, a man came to my door. He was wearing a very nice suit. He looked important. He did not belong in our small town. He had kind eyes, but a serious face. "Are you Miss Rose?" he asked. I nodded. "My name is Alistair Finch," he said. "I was a friend of your father." It was the name from the letter. My heart started to beat very fast. He saw the wooden box on the table. He saw the letter in my hand. "I see you have found it," he said gently. "May I come in?" I let him inside. He looked around our small room. He did not look surprised. He looked sad. "Your father was a great man," he said. "The best King Eldoria ever had." I finally found my voice. "Is it true?" I asked. "All of it," he nodded. "Yes, Princess Rosalia. It is all true. Your father left his kingdom to protect you. But he never forgot his people. He always hoped that one day you would return." Mr. Finch explained everything in more detail. He told me that my father's enemies were gone now. The people of Eldoria had been waiting for their royal family to return. They did not have a king or queen for many years. The kingdom was not doing well. The people were losing hope. "They need you," Mr. Finch said. "They need their princess." I felt a great weight on my shoulders. Me, a princess. I knew how to make bread. I knew how to plant tomatoes. I did not know how to be a princess. I did not know how to rule a kingdom. I was scared. "I can't do it," I said. "I am just Rose. I am a simple girl." Mr. Finch looked at me with a kind smile. "Your father knew you would feel this way," he said. "That is why he raised you like this. A princess with a crown can be weak, but a princess who has known struggle, who has worked hard, who has a kind heart, she can be the strongest ruler of all. Your father did not leave you a house, princess. He left you a kingdom, but he also gave you the tools to rule it." His words made me think. My father's words. A kind heart is the most beautiful thing in the world. His stories about the good people of Eldoria. His love for the garden, our little kingdom. Maybe this was my path. Maybe my whole life was a lesson to prepare me for this. It was a scary thought, but it also felt right. It felt like the last chapter of my father's stories, and I was the main character. I took a deep breath. I looked at Mr. Finch. "Okay," I said, "I will go." The journey to Eldoria was long. I had never left my small town before. I traveled in a car, then on a train, and then in another car. We traveled for days. We passed through big cities with tall buildings. We passed through quiet countrysides. It was all new to me. I wore the necklace my father left me. It felt warm against my skin. It was like a piece of him was with me. Finally, we reached the border of Eldoria. There were 2 large stone pillars with the symbol of the tree and the crown, just like my necklace. As we drove into the kingdom, I saw what my father had described in his stories. There were high mountains with snow on top. There were deep green forests that seemed to go on forever. There were clear rivers that sparkled in the sun. It was beautiful, more beautiful than I could have imagined. But as we got closer to the main city, I saw problems. The small villages we passed looked poor. The fields did not have many crops. The people looked sad. They looked tired. They did not have the happy faces my father described in his stories. I saw that Mr. Finch was right. The kingdom was in trouble. The people needed help. We arrived at the castle. It was huge. It was made of white stone. It had tall towers that reached for the sky. It was much bigger than any building I had ever seen. I felt very small. Servants came out to greet us. They were all wearing formal clothes. They bowed to me. They called me Princess Rosalia. It felt strange. I was used to being called Rose. Mr. Finch introduced me to some important people. They were the royal advisors. They were old men with serious faces. They looked at me with curious eyes. I was wearing a simple dress. My hands were still a little rough from my work at the bakery. I did not look like a princess from their stories. I could see the doubt in their eyes. They asked me questions about politics and economics. I did not know the answers. I felt foolish. I felt like I did not belong here. That night, I was in my new room. It was bigger than our entire house. It had a soft bed with silk sheets. It had a large window that looked out over the entire city. I should have been happy, but I felt more alone than ever. I missed my father. I missed our small house. I missed our simple life. I cried myself to sleep. I wanted to go home. But then I realized this was my home now. The next few weeks were very difficult. I had to learn so many things. I had to learn about the history of Eldoria. I had to learn about its laws. I had to learn how to act like a princess. I had to wear fancy dresses and heavy jewelry. I had to eat with many forks and spoons. It was all so complicated. The advisors tried to teach me, but they were impatient. They thought I was just a simple girl who knew nothing. And maybe they were right. One day, I felt like I could not do it anymore. I ran out of the castle. I ran until I found a garden. The castle had many beautiful gardens, but this one was different. It was at the back of the castle. It was small and a little wild. It was not perfectly neat like the others. It reminded me of my garden at home. I sat on a small stone bench. I felt tears in my eyes again. Then I remembered my father. I remembered his hands covered in soil. I remembered his smile when a new flower bloomed. He loved the earth. He loved simple, living things. He did not care about gold or fancy rules. He cared about life. He cared about people. I looked at the garden. The soil was dry. The plants looked thirsty. I saw a small watering can near a well. I stood up. I took off my fancy shoes. I walked on the soft grass. I filled the watering can, and I started to water the plants. I touched the leaves. I pulled out some weeds. My beautiful dress got dirty. My hands got covered in soil. But I did not care. For the first time since I arrived in Eldoria, I felt like myself. I felt like Rose. I worked in that small garden for hours. The sun was warm on my back. It felt good. I felt a connection to this place, to this land, just like my father did. While I was working, one of the royal advisors found me. He was an old man named Lord Alara. He always looked very strict. He saw me with my dirty dress and my hands in the soil. I expected him to be angry. I expected him to scold me. But he did not. He just stood there and watched me. He had a strange look on his face. After a while, he spoke. His voice was soft. "What are you doing, princess?" he asked. I looked up at him. I was not scared of him anymore. "I am helping the garden," I said simply. "The plants are thirsty." He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "Your father used to do this. He had a small private garden right here. He said a ruler who does not touch the soil cannot understand the people." A tear rolled down the old man's cheek. "I am sorry, Princess Rosalia. We have been trying to teach you how to be a princess. We forgot to let you be your father's daughter." That moment changed everything. Lord Alara saw me. He saw the real me, the daughter of King Thuron, the girl who was raised in a garden. From that day on, things were different. The advisors started to listen to me. I told them I did not want to spend all day in lessons about history. I wanted to meet the people. I wanted to see the kingdom. I started to visit the villages. I did not wear my fancy crown. I wore a simple dress. The people were surprised to see me. At first, they were shy. They did not know what to say to a princess. But I did not act like a princess. I talked to them. I asked them about their lives. I asked them about their struggles. I listened. I learned that the harvests were bad because the soil was poor. I learned that the river was not as clean as it used to be. The people were worried. I remembered what my father taught me about gardening. He taught me how to make the soil healthy again. He taught me how to rotate crops. These were simple things, but the royal advisors had forgotten them. They were only thinking about big economic plans. They forgot about the soil. They forgot about the water. I started a new project. I asked everyone to help. We would work together to make the soil healthy again. I worked in the fields with the farmers. My hands got dirty again. The advisors were shocked. A princess working in the fields. But the people were not shocked. They were happy. They saw that I cared. They saw that I was not afraid of hard work. They started to call me the Gardener Princess. I liked that name much more than Princess Rosalia. We worked together for many months. It was hard work, but it was good work. We brought life back to the land. The crops started to grow better. The fields became green and healthy. We also worked to clean the river. We planted trees along the banks. Slowly, the kingdom of Eldoria started to heal. The people started to smile again. They had hope. I also made changes in the castle. I told the servants to eat with me at the big table. At first, they were scared. But I insisted. I wanted us to be a family. Just like the people of Eldoria were one big family. I opened the castle library to everyone, not just the rich. I wanted all the children to learn how to read. I wanted them to hear the wonderful stories, just like my father told me. I never forgot my old life. I kept my small wooden box in my big room. I still had my doll made of old cloth. They reminded me of who I was. They reminded me of my father's lessons. He taught me that true wealth is not in a castle or a crown. It is in a kind heart. It is in helping others. It is in the joy of seeing a flower grow. My poor father was secretly a king, but he was always a king in his heart. He did not leave me a house. He left me a kingdom. But more importantly, he left me his wisdom. He left me his love for the simple things. He gave me a poor life so I could become a rich person, not with money, but with understanding and compassion. Now I am Queen Rosalia of Eldoria. But in my heart, I am still Rose, the gardener's daughter. I rule my kingdom with my father's lessons in my mind. I touch the soil. I talk to the people. I try to be a kind and humble leader. My kingdom is not the richest in the world. We do not have mountains of gold, but we have green forests. We have clean rivers, and we have happy people. We are rich in love, and that is the only thing that matters. My journey was hard. I was scared, and I felt alone. Maybe you feel scared sometimes too. It's okay to feel scared. It's okay to feel lost. But you are stronger than you think. Just like a small seed can grow into a tall flower, you can grow too. Your heart is your greatest treasure. Be kind. Work hard. And never forget the simple, beautiful things in life. You can do this. Keep going. You are the king or queen of your own life, and you can make it a beautiful kingdom.